just a kind of a cultural bias. Whose propaganda has been hitting us on the head the hardest? That's basically, my God is bigger and better than yours. It depends on how much money you have. And believe me, people were assassinated who stood in the way of the spread of this. Entire cultures were wiped out. I mean, this was not something that was spread because people just happily embraced it. It was really quite compelled upon them. And knowing all of this, people say, well, you sound pissed when you wrote that book. So I was a little angry. I thought, well, gosh, my ancestors were slaughtered and tortured into this cult as well. It is quite irritating. I wanted to say one thing before we go to the lines on just the Egyptian thing that I had raised. I wanted to bring this up because centuries of destruction were not enough, by both Christians and then Muslims, were not enough to cover up all of the evidence. And so the opening of the hieroglyphs up to us through the Rosetta Stone translation and all that since the late 18th century, early 19th century, we have found so much evidence of what I'm talking about. It's just massively overwhelming, and it's too bad that our academia is so, again, with this cultural bias stuff and who's paying their bills, that they're not looking at this material because it's absolutely fascinating. And so I just wanted to say that's Christ in Egypt really brings out a lot of this stuff that was not destroyed. So anyway, there we are now.
Okay, so it's like my little switchboard thing is being a little funky, so hopefully we're not going to blow ourselves up, technologically speaking. Get that lightning bolt. Hi, caller from the 216 area code. You're on the line. Do you have a question for us today? I know you've been very patient. You were like the first person that's tuned in.
It's John Smetana in Cleveland, Ohio. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear?
Oh, great. All right. I was expecting a click. Let's see. Great. I discovered Acharya back around 2005 or 2004, something like that. Also back at that time, let's see. I noticed on the internet that there was a court case going on in Italy, and I guess there was an Italian over there by the name, I think his name was Luigi Cascioli, and he had the nerve of suing the Vatican. I think it was the Vatican,
sure did.
making the claim that as stated in Acharya's books, that Christ really didn't exist. And I can't find on the internet the results of that lawsuit, and I believe he lost because, again, like the little bit that I did read on the internet was, the comments were pretty funny. What chance did he have going up against the Italian government and the Vatican in Italy? But I was wondering what the results of that was.
Yeah, Luigi used to write to me years ago before he filed the lawsuit, and in Italian, and so we had this communication going on, and he actually had some of my writings. Somebody had tried to translate them or something. So I was there cheering him on during that whole process, but he didn't get very far. He was going to try to bring in expert witnesses and so forth, but they wouldn't even entertain the notion of trying the case, the mythicist case in court, which would have been sweet. But of course, instead they turned around and tried to make him look like he was diabolical. He actually sued a friend of his, somebody he went to school with. That's who he named in the lawsuit. It was a priest, a local priest, and that was just for legal purposes. It wasn't like he had anything against this guy. But they did turn around and try to make him pay for the court fees, and completely unwilling to even look into it. But that was fun, and I think there should be more like that, class action lawsuits. His case was based on fraud. He was trying to say these people are portraying a fictitious person as a real person and thereby defrauding people. And I think that case could be made again. If we had funds, we could do all kinds of things, but I operate on a shoestring budget.
That's a great question.
Thanks for bringing that up, John. It's nice to hear from you.
Okay, now we have a caller from the 313 area code. Caller from the 313 area code, are you there?
Hi, this is
Hi,
Debbie.
did you have a question? Hi, Debbie. Thanks for calling.
Hi. I was just flicking through the channels today, and as soon as I clicked on your program, I heard her say sun god. And I said, wait a minute, I just had a dream about the sun god a week ago. And I'm like, okay, what's up with the sun god? Because I really don't know a lot. And I'm like, this, the universe trying to tell me something?